Have you ever stood beneath a truly dark sky, far from the city's electric haze, and felt the sheer, crushing weight of the stars? Not as a burden, but as a revelation. Each point of light is a sun, a star system, a galaxy, spinning in a silent, indifferent ballet that has unfolded for billions of years before you were born and will continue for billions after you are gone. In that immense, silent spectacle, a profound truth is whispered, a truth that our busy, noisy lives are designed to make us forget. The universe, in all its terrifying grandeur and breathtaking beauty, requires absolutely nothing of you. This is not a poetic sentiment. It is a fundamental law of existence. There is no cosmic ledger recording your achievements. There is no celestial court judging your compliance with the expectations of others. The intricate dance of gravity that holds galaxies together does not pause to consider whether you attended a family gathering you dreaded. The fusion reactions burning at the heart of a distant star do not flicker based on your career choices. The expansion of spacetime itself is utterly indifferent to the social contracts you feel bound to uphold. And yet, we live our lives as if the opposite were true. We walk the earth shackled by invisible chains, each link forged from a sense of obligation we never consciously agreed to bear. Consider the language we use. I have to go. I must do this. I have no choice. These are the phrases of the imprisoned, the mantras of a life lived under duress. But who is the warden who handed down this sentence? We look outward for the source of our confinement, to our parents, our partners, our employers, our friends. We see them as the architects of our obligations, the ones who place demands upon our time, our energy, our very soul. But this is a grand illusion, a subtle and pervasive misreading of reality. No one has ever successfully imposed a requirement on you without one crucial element: your consent. Every obligation you have ever fulfilled, every demand you have ever met, was ultimately powered by your own action, your own choice. Even when that choice is presented between two undesirable outcomes, it is a choice nonetheless. A threat, for instance, does not create an automatic compulsion. If someone demands an action under threat of a negative consequence, your compliance is not a fulfillment of their demand. It is a strategic maneuver to avoid the consequence. Your motivation is self-preservation, not a genuine acceptance of their authority over your will. You are the agent. Your will is the catalyst. This is not a semantic game. It is the very key to unlocking the cage. To realize that your participation is always required is to realize that your refusal is always possible. We are not mindless machines, pre-programmed to execute the commands of others. We are conscious beings, and in that consciousness lies the seed of absolute freedom. We have been conditioned to ignore this freedom, to see it as dangerous or selfish. We have been taught that our value is measured by our utility to others, by our willingness to sacrifice our own desires on the altar of social harmony. We learn to trade authenticity for acceptance, to perform a role rather than live a life. This performance is the source of a deep and corrosive misery, a quiet resentment that stains the fabric of our most cherished relationships. Think of it: you agree to do something you genuinely do not want to do, driven by a sense of duty. Perhaps it's a social event, a favor, a life decision. You show up, you perform the task, but you are not fully there. A part of your mind is absent, tallying the cost. You are implicitly creating a debt, and you expect to be repaid in the currency of gratitude, appreciation, or recognition. You make sure you are seen, that your sacrifice is noted. You collect your credit, but what happens when the payment doesn't come? What happens when your reluctant effort goes unnoticed, unthanked, or is simply taken for granted? A poison begins to seep into your heart: resentment. You feel cheated, taken advantage of. The person for whom you made the sacrifice is no longer a loved one, but a debtor who has defaulted. The action, which was meant to be an expression of connection, becomes a monument to your own subjugation. "I did this for you," the inner voice whispers, "and you didn't even care." And so, the irony is cruel and perfect. The very acts we perform in the name of love and friendship become the instruments of their destruction. We do things we do not want to do for the people we supposedly care about, and in doing so, we begin to care for them less. A wall is built, brick by brick, with every reluctant yes. This is a quiet, internal tragedy replayed in millions of lives every single day. We are living in a state of self-inflicted emotional debt, postponing our peace and our happiness until a future moment when all our obligations will finally be met. A moment that, by its very nature, can never arrive. Now imagine the alternative. Imagine a life guided not by obligation, but by intention. A life where your yes is a complete and total affirmation, flowing from a place of genuine desire. When you act from this space, the action itself is the reward. There is no internal ledger, no expectation of repayment. Your presence at an event is a gift given freely, and because it is free, it carries an energy of joy and authenticity. Your help is offered not as a transaction, but as a pure expression of your will. You seek no thanks because the fulfillment was in the act itself. You are not performing, you are simply being. This way of living is magnetic. People will feel the difference. They will know that when you are with them, you are there because you want to be, not because you have to be. The connection becomes real, unburdened by the dead weight of unspoken resentment. This path requires courage, especially at the beginning. You will inevitably disrupt the unspoken social contracts around you. The transactional nature of modern relationships is built on a foundation of mutual, reluctant obligation. I will do this unpleasant thing for you, so that you will do this unpleasant thing for me. It is a strange and exhausting charade we maintain out of fear. When you cease to play your part, others may feel cheated. Why does he get to be free? Why isn't she miserable with the rest of us? Your freedom will be a mirror, and for some, the reflection will be uncomfortable. They will see their own chains they may not have even realized they were wearing. And this is where your greatest gift is given. Your example, offered without a single word of preaching, becomes a quiet revolution. It plants a seed of possibility in the minds of those around you. It makes them question the source of their own unhappiness. Who, exactly, required me to be miserable? Do my loved ones truly want me to do things that make me less happy, less free? We must redefine our understanding of kinship. True connection is not a function of blood or history. It is not a bond forged in genetics or cemented by the passage of time. These things are merely context. They are not the substance. The substance is alignment. The substance is a resonance of souls, a shared journey in the present moment. Just because you share DNA with someone does not obligate you to share their path, to carry their expectations, to live the life they envision for you. Your life, your awareness, your finite and precious time on this earth, this is the only currency you truly possess. It cannot be increased, only spent. And to spend it on a life you do not intend to live is the ultimate bankruptcy. Similarly, a shared history is not a cage. A friendship of 20 years does not obligate you to remain in a dynamic that no longer serves your growth or reflects who you have become. People change. Trajectories diverge. To continue a relationship out of loyalty to the past is a disservice not only to yourself, but to the other person. It is an act of mutual deception, pretending a connection still exists when all that remains is the ghost of one. Whom does this serve? Not you, not them. It serves only the fear of letting go. So look again at the world. It is not the constricting, demanding place you were taught it was. It is wild, open, and fundamentally neutral. The requirements you feel are echoes in an empty room, reflections of your own beliefs. People cannot make requirements of you. They can make requests. They can express desires. They can present you with choices. But the ultimate authority, the final arbiter of your action, is you. And the universe, the totality of all that is, the grand, silent, breathing reality that contains all truth and all beauty, it does not speak in the language of demands. No star has ever commanded you to make something of yourself. No law of physics has ever stipulated that you must satisfy the whims of every person you meet. Nature does not issue decrees. It simply is. And you are a part of that nature. You are an expression of the cosmos, a momentary, miraculous flicker of self-aware consciousness. The only authentic mandate is the one that arises from within, to live in alignment with your own deepest understanding of truth, to act with intention, and to be the most authentic expression of yourself that you can be. Everything else is noise. Every obligation you resent is a self-imposed chain. Realize this, and you will see the lock was an illusion. The door has been open all along.